When I was a child, I struggled with speaking. People laughed at me. And in school, I wasn't the smartest kid. In fact, many even called me lazy. I've made a lot of mistakes in life, faced countless ups and downs, and when I look back, sometimes it hurts. Growing up in poverty, I often felt like I had nothing. Even in love, I went through so much pain. Today, I'm already on my third marriage. I'm not sharing this because I want pity. I'm sharing it to show you that no matter how bad your situation is, you can change your direction. For me, that change came from one unexpected moment, and the man who inspired me was Steve Harvey, one of the biggest television hosts in America. He went from being homeless and broke to becoming worth over $300 million. One opportunity completely changed his life. And today, I want to share that story with you. I used to spend the night in hotel parking lots, not because I wanted to, but because I had nowhere else to stay. My car was my home. I had $35 to my name. $35. That was all I had. And one night, sitting in that car, I cried out to God. I said, "Come on, God. I've been trying so hard to make this dream come true. And you left me out here like this?" Tears were rolling down my face, and in that broken moment, I heard him, not with a voice, but in my spirit. He said, "If you get up, I'm going to take you places you've never been." But I was ready to quit. I had reached the lowest point of my life. I thought, forget it, I'm done. So I drove to a payphone to call my dad. Back then, you could punch in a code to check your messages. And when I did, I heard this. "Hey Steve, this is Chuck Sutton with Showtime at the Apollo. We saw your tape. You're very funny. If you can get here Sunday night, we'd love to put you on television." I hung up the phone, and I was crushed, because my biggest dream was right in front of me, but I couldn't get there. I only had $35. New York felt like another world away. I stood there in that booth, with tears streaming down my face, thinking, God, maybe this is a sign. Maybe this dream just isn't for me. That was the moment where I almost quit for good. Something told me, call back. Make sure it's this Sunday. So I did. I called again. And yes, it was that Sunday. And just before I hung up, another message popped up. I punched in my code and listened. "Steve, this is Tom Sobel from the Comedy Caravan. We've got a show in Jacksonville, Florida tomorrow night. It pays $150. Call me back if you can make it." It was Thursday. I was in Pensacola, 3.5 hours away. I called him back immediately. He said the gig was still open. So I drove to Jacksonville, performed that night, and I killed it. The audience loved me. The owner gave me $150 and asked me to stay another night for another $150. Just like that, I went from $35 to $300 in 2 days. Now I had enough to get to New York. Eastern Airlines had a round-trip ticket from Jacksonville to New York for $99. I parked my car at the airport, grabbed my 2 bags, everything I owned, and flew to New York. When I got to the Apollo, I told them, "I'm here." They said I couldn't stay in the building until the late show, but I begged. I had nowhere else to go. Finally, they let me stay upstairs in the dressing room. And there, I met 3 young comedians. Names you might know today: D.L. Hewley, Dwayne Johnson, and Jamie Foxx. None of us were famous back then. We were just kids chasing a dream. But as the night went on, one by one, I watched them go on stage. And one by one, I watched them get booed off, even Jamie Foxx. And suddenly, I realized I was next. I was nervous. My stomach was empty. My hands were shaking, and my breathing was shot. But I stepped on that stage anyway. And I told a joke I had written about Mike Tyson getting into a fight in Harlem. The crowd started laughing. Then they exploded. The Apollo went crazy. They gave me a standing ovation. I walked off stage in tears, not from fear this time, but from joy. That night, I got paid $750. I had never made that much in one night in my life, and that was my very first TV appearance. Weeks later, they called me back. First just to host a night, then to keep hosting. And before I knew it, I became the longest-running host of Showtime at the Apollo, 8 years straight. That night at the Apollo was my turn-back moment. In life, everyone has one. A moment where you can go forward or give up. Here's what I learned. If you give up, it's guaranteed you'll never make it. That's the one guarantee of quitting. It kills your dream forever. But if you keep going, even when it looks impossible, the possibility is still alive. And with faith, God always comes through. When I had $35, He made the phone ring. When I thought I had no way, He made a way. That's how my life turned around. And that's what I want you to remember. Never give up. Never quit. Because your breakthrough may be just one more step away.